The energy is charged, and the cosmos is aligning in a way that calls for your attention. The Aries Moon Portal has swung wide open, and with it comes an influx of fiery, dynamic energy that demands you take action. But what does this mean for you, and why should you care? The answer lies within the unique power of Aries, the trailblazer of the Zodiac, and its connection to the moon, the intuitive force that governs our emotions and subconscious mind. This Aries Moon Portal is no ordinary celestial event. It's an invitation to shed the old, break free from limitations, and step boldly into new territories, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. Aries doesn't hesitate. It plunges headfirst into challenges with unmatched courage. This moon, however, isn't just about impulsive action. It's about channeling that fire into purposeful creation. It's about tapping into your inner warrior, your primal instincts, and your deepest desires for transformation. In the next few moments, we're diving deep into 7 crucial things you absolutely need to understand about this Aries Moon Portal and how to harness its full potential. Whether you're looking to make big moves, face your fears, or simply step into a higher version of yourself, the time is now. This is a moment of potent energy where the universe is pushing you to align with your higher purpose. And Aries Moon is the catalyst that can fuel your journey. Get ready to unlock the truths, insights, and actions that will allow you to take full advantage of this cosmic opening. Are you ready to tap into the raw power of the Aries Moon Portal? If so, type "I am ready" in the comments below and share your intentions with the universe. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to stay tuned for more cosmic insights that will guide your journey. Let's dive in. This Aries moon doesn't arrive quietly. It opens a portal that behaves nothing like a typical lunar phase. The air feels different. Time doesn't flow in the same straight line, and decisions carry a strange weight. During this window, the usual sense of cause and effect becomes compressed. What you choose in a moment may accelerate through time, creating outcomes that would normally take months or years to unfold. This bending of time isn't visible on a clock, but it's deeply felt in the way events unfold. Faster, sharper, and more direct. The Aries moon has activated something rare, a cosmic acceleration chamber where hesitation is punished and boldness is amplified. At the center of this portal is an energetic apex, a sharp spike where Aries energy doesn't just rise, it erupts. It's like the volume of an invisible frequency suddenly turns to maximum, waking up instincts and passions that were buried or asleep. The portal doesn't invite Aries traits gently. It throws them into the air like sparks. But this isn't about typical astrological influence. It's about raw access to a current that pushes everything into overdrive. Even people who usually feel disconnected from Aries qualities may find themselves thinking and moving with a rare intensity. What's even more unusual is the reversal of natural energetic roles. Usually the sun's power steers the larger movement, while the moon responds. But during this Aries moon portal, that structure flips. Lunar assertiveness takes the lead. The moon doesn't reflect, it commands. The result is a brief but profound shift in how power is felt and expressed. Internal guidance feels more urgent than outer direction. The moon's voice becomes the louder one, demanding motion over contemplation. Within this surge, every thought, word, and impulse carries greater permanence. Energetically, the field becomes soft, like wet cement, ready to record whatever is pressed into it. This is the imprint effect. Nothing is ordinary here. Decisions made, beliefs voiced, Even silent intentions during this portal are etched deeper than usual. They lock into your future timeline in a way that resists undoing. And all of this happens under a fire window that spreads across signs. Whether you're Aries or not, this moon pushes fire through your field. It sharpens confidence, speeds up reactions, and cracks open layers of courage, even in those who don't recognize themselves in it. Inside this Aries Moon Portal, something deep and quiet begins to stir. Not outside, but within. It's not about events or situations changing. It's about something more personal, more hidden. An internal crossroads appears, not as a choice you plan, but as a pressure you feel. On one side, there are old instincts that scream for immediate action, urges that rise fast and loud. On the other side, something softer but wiser tries to speak. An inner whisper you've ignored many times. This isn't a normal inner conflict. The portal magnifies both voices until you can no longer pretend they don't exist. It becomes impossible to avoid the tension between what you impulsively want and what your deeper intuition is trying to reveal. As this battle rises, a hidden circuit wakes up inside you. The part of your inner design that's connected to courage. Not just courage in action, but the kind that involves risking thought, risking belief. You may find yourself drawn toward ideas or mental territories you've always avoided, not because they are safe, but because they are true. It feels electric, almost like a forgotten wire has been reconnected. That surge of bravery isn't loud or dramatic. It's internal, yet undeniable. At the same time, a strange truth begins to gather in your gut. Not the kind you analyze, but a knowing that doesn't need explanation. It feels like a message that bypasses the mind and lands directly in the solar plexus. This knowing doesn't negotiate. It just is. Doubt, which once filtered every thought, temporarily loses power. For a moment, clarity moves through your system, like heat, warming something long frozen. Meanwhile, old desires, the ones you built plans around, start to feel foreign. They don't collapse with drama, they just dissolve. In their place rise new, almost impulsive dreams you can't trace to the past. These aren't logical replacements. They're rewrites from a deeper code. You're no longer the same script. Most powerful of all is a silent option that wasn't available before. To step out of internal loops that have haunted you for years without having to fix them, explain them, or resolve them. You can simply walk out. The doorway's open, not because the loop is finished, but because you are. The Aries energy doesn't just show up in your waking life. It begins shifting the hidden layers of your mind, the ones you don't usually see or control. During this portal, the fire signature moves silently through your subconscious, altering patterns without needing permission. You may not even realize it's happening, but signs appear in unexpected ways. In dreams, for example, strange symbols may emerge: rushing flames, battles, intense confrontations, or sudden awakenings. These are not random. They are signals that a deeper recalibration is taking place. The subconscious is processing stored heat, aggression you buried, passion you denied, ambition you didn't allow. Aries brings it up, but not as memory. It shows up in symbols. In stories, your dreaming mind tells when your conscious guard is down. At the same time, there's a quiet override happening beneath your awareness. Goals that once lived in your unconscious mind, those quiet, unspoken desires, are being rewritten. It's not just a change of interest. It's a rerouting of your inner compass. New pathways form, guided not by past decisions, but by something more raw and aligned. You may not know why the old dreams feel less urgent now. That's because something underneath them has shifted without needing your attention. This process also sharpens your internal reflexes, but it doesn't do it in your thinking mind. It happens in your automatic responses. You react faster, you reach without planning. You say or do things without knowing why, and only later realize it was instinct. Aries speeds up your reaction time at the subconscious level, removing the usual delay where you second-guess or analyze. It's not recklessness, it's primal motion waking up. There's also a strange kind of release taking place. Anger from the past, the kind you never expressed or maybe never admitted, starts to move. Not in explosions, but in symbols, movements, body posture, tone of voice. It finds channels without needing your conscious direction. The body becomes a messenger for unspoken fire. The subconscious has decided it's time to drain what's been stored. All of this leads to a quiet but powerful shift in identity. Not the identity you talk about, but the one that lives under the surface. The way you secretly see yourself begins to change. A bolder image rises. Even if you don't speak it, you feel it building from below. During this Aries Moon Portal, certain areas of life become hot spots, zones where rapid and sometimes unpredictable movement takes place. These shifts aren't subtle or slow. They come with a jolt, often catching you off guard. One of the most active zones is the realm of career and work. You may find yourself suddenly walking away from a job you thought you'd keep, or being pulled into a surprising opportunity that appears out of nowhere. The usual planning or waiting phases disappear. There's an inner push to act now, and in the professional world, that can mean big changes with no warning. Relationships also feel the fire, but not in a quiet or reflective way. The Aries influence charges the air with raw honesty, forcing decisions that may have been postponed for too long. If there's been silence, the silence may break. If there's been uncertainty, a clear yes or no might suddenly surface. The blunt force of this moon doesn't leave room for tiptoeing. You may feel driven to speak truths that have been avoided, or someone else may do the same. Relationships that were sitting in limbo either stabilize with strong action or fall apart because they can no longer stretch any further. Money becomes another charged field. Without overthinking, there's a sudden readiness to take financial risks. Starting a business, making a big purchase, or stepping into something uncertain with a strange sense of confidence. Aries pushes boldness into money matters. The usual caution may fall away for a moment, and a strong urge to leap into something fresh can take over. The body also gets touched by this fire. Motivation rises without explanation, and you may feel pulled toward intense physical effort. Starting a workout, going on a health challenge, or pushing limits you normally wouldn't. It doesn't feel planned, it just happens. The body wants movement, and Aries brings the fuel. Finally, the home stops feeling stable if something's been off. There's an itch for change, sometimes big. A sudden decision to rearrange everything, get rid of clutter, move to a new place, or completely shift your living environment can rise fast. Aries doesn't ask for slow improvements. It demands transformation, and the home becomes another area where that lightning strikes. The Aries moon lights a fire deep within the way you see yourself. It doesn't gently invite change. It cracks through old layers of identity with pressure and heat. Any false persona you've been using to survive, impress, or blend in begins to feel too tight, like wearing someone else's skin. There's a discomfort that grows rapidly, not just in how others see you, but in how you recognize yourself. If you've been performing in a way that no longer matches your inner truth, that performance starts to break down. It becomes exhausting to keep it going. And you may find that the mask simply drops, even if you didn't plan it. At the same time, a more original voice begins to rise. Not necessarily louder, but unmistakably clearer. This voice is stripped of decoration. It doesn't try to sound pleasing or polished. It wants to be real. You may notice your words becoming more direct, or that you express opinions that were once softened or held back. There's less tolerance for hiding your tone, and more willingness to speak in a way that actually feels like you. This change in voice isn't just about speaking out loud. It shows up in writing, posture, even the silence you choose to keep. A powerful shift also happens in how you give yourself permission. In the past, your thoughts might have been shaped by rules, by expectations, or even by your own old patterns. But now, that system feels outdated. You stop waiting for someone else's approval, family, culture, or even your past self. You start making mental decisions without checking if they're okay with others. This override doesn't need applause. It just knows. Your inner monologue, the constant stream of thoughts, begins to transform too. Where there may have been doubt or hesitation, there's now a bolder voice stepping forward. The tone changes from "can I" to "I am." Even in quiet moments, the way you talk to yourself feels more commanding and self-led. And through all of this, a strange new confidence is born. Not from being liked, but from saying no. Saying no becomes not just a choice, but a declaration, a boundary, a recognition that your identity is no longer shaped by being agreeable. Defiance becomes sacred because it draws the line where your true self begins. During this Aries Moon Portal, there are invisible forces weaving in and out of your field, even if you're not aware of them in a direct way. One of the most powerful shifts is the increase in what can be called hyperentity magnetism. Your personal energy becomes more lit up in non-physical dimensions. This makes you more noticeable, not just to people, but to subtle beings and energetic forms that normally don't interact with you. Some of these may be helpful, offering guidance or presence without words, while others may test your space, creating odd feelings or interference. It's like your inner light turns up suddenly, and everything in the unseen world takes notice. This increased energy can also affect the physical environment in strange ways. Electromagnetic flickering becomes more common. You may notice devices freezing, lights dimming or surging, or signals cutting in and out. These aren't just technical glitches. They're echoes of the frequency your body is now transmitting. Your system, temporarily more charged, can clash with the stability of man-made electronics. The more sensitive the device, the more likely it is to act up around you. Another strange sensation that may show up is what feels like a magnetic pull towards certain people, places, or memories. These pulls don't follow logic. You might feel a strange urge to contact someone you haven't thought of in years, or be drawn to visit a place without knowing why. These experiences come from something deeper than preference. It's as if your energy is being subtly redirected, as if an invisible current is guiding your attention with no explanation. Then there are the timeline blending moments. You may have experiences where time feels layered, like something from another version of your life bleeds through. Déjà vu may be intense, not just as a fleeting sensation, but as if two versions of you almost collide in one scene. You may feel you've done or said something before, yet there's no memory to confirm it. Lastly, synchronicities begin to speed up. Repeating numbers, strange symbols, repeated names, or encounters, these appear too often to dismiss. They become patterns. These symbols seem to whisper directions, not with explanations, but with presence. They don't tell you what to do. They just confirm that something beyond the surface is at work, noticing you. This portal doesn't follow any predictable route. It reaches into the hidden spaces of who you are and flips switches you didn't know existed. Talents or instincts that have never been part of your conscious skill set begin to rise, as if they've always been there, waiting. You might find yourself responding to something new with ease, as though it's to second nature. There's no background, no learning curve. It just shows up fully formed. These aren't talents built through repetition, but ones buried deep in your energetic DNA, awakening on their own without your control or effort. One of the most intense shifts can come in the form of ancestral warrior codes, something ancient surfacing in you that feels foreign but powerful. It isn't about aggression or combat in a literal sense, but more about an internal fire that doesn't shrink back. It's a fierce presence, an energy that stands its ground. You might feel this strength activate in moments that normally would leave you silent, and suddenly there's a force that rises up inside you. It doesn't feel personal, and it doesn't come from ego. It feels passed down, like a voice or memory that belongs to generations. Without any planning, you might begin to experience strong urges to lead. These aren't roles you seek out or ask for. They come from a sudden need to act, speak, or organize when no one else is stepping forward. You may surprise yourself stepping into situations with confidence that doesn't come from past experience, but from an inner certainty that bypasses your usual habits. This urge to take charge isn't calculated. It feels like being claimed by a force larger than you, one that knows how to move without permission. Along with this, your presence begins to shift. People might start responding to you in unfamiliar ways, drawn to you, staring longer, or listening more intently. It has nothing to do with how you dress or speak. It's the invisible glow of this fiery activation radiating through your field. You don't try to be magnetic. It simply happens. And in moments of chaos, when things around you move too fast for thinking, something inside cuts through the noise. With no hesitation, you act, and it's right. This clarity isn't born from logic, but from a spark that knows the way before your thoughts can catch up. Once the energy of the portal subsides, an unexpected feeling of exhaustion may wash over you. The high surge of activity and awakening fades, leaving you with a sense of emptiness. It's as though the vitality you once felt has been drained and your energy levels sink abruptly. This phase can be disorienting. You might find yourself questioning what just happened, feeling emotionally flat or physically worn out, as if your body is trying to catch up with the intensity of the shift you just experienced. It's important to understand that this fatigue is part of the integration process, not something to be fixed, but something that naturally follows the energetic climax. In the aftermath of this energetic crash, delayed realizations often begin to surface. Choices made in the heat of the moment during the portal may only show their true impact weeks later. What seemed like spontaneous decisions at the time will become clearer, revealing how they set off a chain reaction that has altered the course of your life. These realizations often come as subtle echoes, gradually shifting your perspective on everything that unfolded, sometimes making you wonder just how much of the transformation was intentional and how much was a force beyond your comprehension. As the dust settles, you might notice a distinct discomfort with the identity you once held. The habits and ways of thinking that were familiar now feel foreign. You may try to return to old routines, but they won't feel as comfortable as they once did. Your sense of self has shifted, and when the portal's intensity fades, that old version of you might feel like a stranger. The integration process is not always smooth. It involves shedding skins that no longer fit, even if you don't fully understand why they were discarded in the first place. Emotional clarity, too, often follows the portal rather than arriving during it. The insights you were waiting for during the surge of energy might not come immediately. Instead, they will trickle in over time as your emotional landscape finds balance. The true understanding of what has shifted inside you might take weeks to reveal itself, unfolding slowly and unexpectedly as you process the changes that have taken place beneath the surface. In the final phase, you may experience an eerie silence. The flood of signs, synchronicities, and cosmic guidance that felt so intense during the portal seems to stop altogether. It's as though the universe has gone quiet, leaving you to navigate your path without the constant stream of confirmation. This silence can feel unsettling, even though it is a normal part of the post-portal integration. It is a test of your faith in what is already unfolded and in the changes that are still taking root. Even if you can't see them,